It's an abomination that you would sign an agreement to let 98% of the people in the administration stay at home and work.
That's not what I did, Congresswoman.
Well,
That's not what I did. 98% were eligible for telework, but I required all of the headquarters folks and the regionals and the areas to be there 3 days a week. And ever since the pandemic ended, those field offices in each of your districts have been open 5 days a week. Ever since vaccines were available, 5 days a week.
Thank you very much.
Man, this is embarrassing. Now the Republicans have control of the House, Senate, and White House after their constant stream of complaints about issues they worked to make worse. They're showing again that all they know how to do is complain when it's time to legislate. I mean, Virginia Foxx there doesn't even know the reality of the telework that she's calling an abomination.
Can you, a candidate to be chair of the Democrat Party, define what a woman is for me today?
Madam, or
Can you
Congresswoman.
define what a woman is?
Oh, yes.
What is a woman?
You're going to ask me to define what a woman
Yes,
is?
I am right now.
Well, I'm
You
talking,
just said you could.
yes,
Explain it to me.
I'm talking to a woman right now, distinguished woman.
What is a
elected
woman?
Representative.
What is a woman?
I think you're kind of denigrating the purpose of this.
What is
hearing.
it? You can't define what a woman is. All right. In an
I'm
effort to
married
be fair,
to a woman.
in an
I
effort
have
to be
two
fair and
daughters who are
unbiased,
women.
in an effort to be fair and unbiased, can you define what a man is for me?
I have 2 sons
Okay.
that are men.
At this point, folks like Nancy Mace don't even remember why they keep asking people to define what a woman is, since there's never been a second step of advancing any kind of helpful legislation over their beef that others are willing to accept trans women as people deserving of respect. While they continue to try to erode the rights and existence of trans folks, I bet they won't stop forcing them to pay their taxes. I mean, they'll definitely keep accepting their money as they refuse to represent them.
Since you're very interested in being DNC chair, you are, after all, a lifelong Democrat politician. I don't even know if you had a job in the real world, but you have been an elected
Yep, I've had
politician
a
for
few of
years.
them.
Mr. O'Malley,
And I
you're
ran my
also
own-
a
and I
Catholic,
ran
are you
my own
not?
law
You're
firm.
also a Catholic, are you not?
I am.
Do you serve God or do you serve the Democrat Party?
I serve God.
Mr. O'Malley, will you be supporting the murder of the unborn up until the day of birth like your party does? As DNC chair, will you be supporting the murder of innocent unborn people? Is that in line with your faith in God and the Catholic Church?
I trust the judgment of women and doctors over the judgment of government.
Now, do you trust God's judgment? Do you trust God that he loves and has created every single human being? Do you support the murder of unborn children? And are you going to uphold that evil practice that the Democrat Party wants to continue? You see, abortions, over 95% of them are unintended pregnancies. They use abortions as birth control. So are you going to continue the birth control practice of murdering the unborn children as chair of the DNC? Will that be a policy you'll be
I
supporting?
am pro-choice, and I trust the judgment of women and their doctors over the judgments of government.
Well, thank you for letting God know where you stand with the murder of
I
the
talk to
unborn.
God every day.
Yeah, well, you might want to talk to him a little bit more,
Yeah.
Mr. O'Malley, because you're definitely in the wrong.
We don't even have to get into how ridiculous it is for Representative Greene to claim ownership over how much God approves of anyone's relationship with him. This is coming from the same woman that wholeheartedly supports Donald Trump, who has a laundry list of moral violations according to the God that she's never looked into. This is the party that consistently chooses gun lobby money over even considering ways to protect children that have already been born. And what are they so mad about? They already took people's right to choose with the SCOTUS decision against Roe versus Wade. You know, what's left to complain about? This party, so far from understanding the point of legislating, it's going to be a very dysfunctional and idiotic few years ahead of us. And all congressional Democrats can do is point it out.
How are we going to talk about government efficiency while pushing for policies that keep folks from executing their jobs efficiently? I do actually want to work on government efficiency, and I think it's important, but it's not very efficient that we're probably going to do this same hearing 5 more times. These attacks on these federal workers are repetitive and nothing more than grandstanding. You have a trifecta. You shouldn't have anything more to complain about. So we should be able to stop wasting time on this type of nonsense. This hearing does nothing more than demonstrate their cruelty, and that's always been the point. They're telling us how little they view government workers and the people of the D.C. area. They're showing us how low they regard the people of D.C., whether it's because they're government workers or because they're majority black. Republicans are letting an unelected multi-billionaire run amok, and they're attacking our government workers straight out the gate. How is that efficient? These people want to do their jobs. They want to do their jobs well and efficiently, but every 3 weeks, we come out here and we attack what we already know is an efficient way to work. And why do we know that? Because we've heard the testimony throughout all of the last Congress in this very committee. Testimony that told us how work from home policies don't impact efficiency, how allowing telework attracts diverse, higher quality candidates and talent, how it makes it easier for our veterans and our military spouses and mothers and those with disabilities to work. We have already determined over and over and over and over again that these policies are better, not worse, more efficient, not less wasteful.
Representative Summer Lee's attempt to cite facts and stats regarding work from home policies won't penetrate the talking points these Republicans live and breathe for, all for the sake of creating a reality that keeps their voters angry. But at some point, their supporters are going to have to expect something other than whining and crying with no solution ever in sight. Because this boogeyman politics has to come to an end at some point.
In the last Congress, this committee was marked by division, dysfunction, and dishonesty. I was hopeful this would change with the new Congress. Sadly, I can't say I'm surprised to see the same petty partisanship returning again. Let's be clear, there is important work to be done in this committee. We could be focusing on ways to improve the lives of the American people, like bringing down grocery prices, improving access to health care, or making housing more affordable. Instead, our very first hearing is a political assault on the federal workforce. The irony could not be more glaring. We are sitting here in front of former Commissioner O'Malley just days after President Biden signed the Social Security Fairness Act into law. The new law removed unfair penalties that were reducing the Social Security benefits of teachers, postal workers, law enforcement officers, and other public servants for decades. This bipartisan legislation was a big win for the constituents we serve, and timely implementation of the law is critical to the 200,000 Ohioans who will see their monthly benefits increase by hundreds of dollars. Yet instead of discussing this monumental win with Mr. O'Malley, my colleagues on the other side of the aisle have called him to discuss telework.
I'm still wondering when that word groceries that Donald Trump said he invented are going to drop to their 1956 levels. There has to be an endpoint to this extreme level of empty rhetoric before the real-world consequences of these distractions finally take shape. Because while these clowns that keep MAGA's attention on the people that they hate from the party they just defeated, the deities that they blindly trust are hard at work dismantling their lives.
I think it's important to actually be real about what this hearing is actually about. And I think it's always important here in the Oversight Committee to pull back the curtain on kind of the bigger agenda and why these hearings get called. So let's talk about what this hearing is and is not. I think it's important to observe that this hearing is not just about telework and work from home policies. It is actually setting the stage for dismantling the federal workforce. It's about the incoming administration and their desire to try to fire and get thousands of federal workers to leave the federal workforce. And it's about the restructuring of the workforce through the new DOGE subcommittee and the executive actions that are associated with it and that was created here in this committee yesterday. How do we know this? Because the co-chairs of the DOGE task force, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, have been very open about telework ending as a way to get thousands of federal employees to leave. In fact, right after the election in November, they published a thought piece in the Wall Street Journal, which stated that telework would result in voluntary terminations of federal workers.